Hi everybody. In this video I'd like to talk a bit about Arthur Danto's works of art and mere things. Let me share the screen with you. Okay, so Arthur Danto was an American art critic and professor of philosophy. So Danto starts his excerpts, an excerpt from a longer work like a lot of our texts. He says, imagine a whole set of red rectangles, one next to the other. Most have different titles. Each has a different origin and context. An outraged young artist paints up a work that resembles the others, calls it Israelites Crossing the Red Sea, and it looks like this, as you see on your screen there. Is this new object a work of art? So he lists out these sets of red rectangles with different names. Now, I know some of them look like squares. Just pretend they're rectangles. Okay, so they all look virtually alike. So the question is this a new work of art? And isn't it a work of art just by virtue of the young artist being an artist? Danto argues that not everything touched by an artist turns to art. So for instance, a fence painted by someone, he labels the person J, is only a painted fence. If it's not, if it doesn't follow a certain definition that Danto is giving us. Now, is it because J, the person now, the artist, declared it to be a work of art? Is that what makes it a work of art? Because he declared it a work of art. Well, Duchamp had done much the same. Marcel Duchamp in the early 20th century had done much the same thing. That's Marcel Duchamp. For instance, this is Duchamp's In Advance of the Broken Arm. Essentially, it's identical to a snow shovel. Also, this is what Duchamp gave to a museum exhibition and entitled it Fountain. And as you can see, it is identical to a urinal, a men's urinal. Also, Duchamp had bicycle wheel, which essentially was a bicycle wheel. And so he found what he called readymades and put them into museums and called it art and gave it titles. Imagine a group of people, Danto invites us, who respond to fields of daffodils, to minerals, to peacocks, to glowing, iridescent things, just as we would with how beautiful. They would partition off beautiful things just as we would, except these barbarians. Danto is asking us, sort of people. By barbarians, he just means people who have not yet been educated in what art is and in art appreciation, for instance. And he says these barbarians lack a concept of art. They, we can suppose, would respond to certain works of art just as we would, but only for works whose material counterparts are beautiful. So these barbarians would say that works of art were beautiful when the material counterparts, the material that the works are made of, themselves are beautiful. So they see works of art as we would see those material counterparts as beautiful things. For instance, stained glass, certain works in enamel, ornaments, precious stones, lace. So these things are all just beautiful on their face, so to speak. Imagine now our sensitive barbarians sweeping across the civilized world, conquering and destroying. They would spare, we may imagine, those works of art which happen to have beautiful material counterparts. So like gold leaf and things like that. Some paintings would survive, those with lots of gold leaf, as I say, and highly ornamental ones, very colorful ones. But how many Rembrandts? Right? And these are going to be works that Danto assumes that barbarians who only see beauty in surface things would not find beautiful. They would destroy them. He says, what about Rembrandts or Watteaus? Right? Or Picasso's? Well, Chardins. I forgot Chardins. There's a Chardin there. Or Picasso's. Appreciations of these require them to be perceived first as artworks, a concept these people do not have. There was a sense of unfairness felt when Warhol displayed his Brillo boxes. They resembled the real thing, but they were works of art when the real thing was not. Why? What makes the Brillo boxes that appeared in the museum made by Warhol? Now, in this case, he made these, but they were exact copies of already existing Brillo boxes that were used. Brillo was like it's one of the first wave of those like dry, soapy, what do you call it? Can't think of the term, but they're rough, and you could really clean, hard to clean things with them. There was a sense of unfairness felt. And Danto says to see something as art at all demands an understanding of the art. To see something as art at all demands an understanding of artistic theory, a knowledge of the history of art. Without theories of art, black paint is just black paint. Nothing is an artwork without an interpretation that constitutes it as such. So it has to be interpreted first and foremost as a work of art. I hope this short video has helped you understand a little bit better what Danto is saying in his article. Thanks everyone for your time and attention. Bye-bye.